Let's go to Pauline now. How are you, sir?
Hey, Pete, how you doing this afternoon?
Very good. You going to the regatta? Do you go to the regatta, Pauline?
I certainly do. As a matter of fact, most years I'm down there volunteering with one community group or another, selling tickets or what have you, on cash wheel or teddy bears or whatever the case might be. This year, there's nothing on the go that I was aware of to help out with, per se, with the groups I normally get involved with. But I will be down there, and certainly if anyone wants a hand, I'll give them one, for sure.
Well, you never stop, do you, boy?
No, boy, I try not to. Community leaders should be helping out in the community, as far as I'm concerned. That's who put you there, that's who you represent, and that's who you should be trying to help any way you can.
Jacqueline Byrne, just before you get on your subject, I just want to share this with you. Jacqueline Byrne on Twitter says that she has missed one regatta in 43 years. As a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, she left Gross Morn at 9 o'clock in the morning and got to the lake around 4:30. Loves the regatta, she says.
Wow. Now that's commitment.
That's right.
I guarantee you.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, Pete, before I get to my subject, I just want to very quickly just throw a bouquet to the Newfoundland Labrador, the St. I think they're called the St. John's Folk Arts Society.
Yep.
On the initiative that they're taking in this year as it relates to ensuring that event is totally inclusive and accessible. They've really put a great effort into making sure that persons with disabilities of various types are going to be accommodated. Certainly it is the template which they have in place is a model that should be used throughout the province. So I just want to throw a bouquet to them for doing that.
Yeah, apparently they're leading the way. If you want to see how it's supposed to be done, you look at the Folk Festival. Absolutely.
Yep. Anyway, I wanted to call about the paid family caregiver program, and first of all, I think it's a great initiative. It was one I think that was brought in a few years ago by the previous administration, and I think it was a positive move. But I have a family that I've been trying to help in Port Rexton, and they contacted me, and it's a really sad story. And in this case, I guess the issue comes down to is that under the policy for paid family caregivers, anybody can be a paid family caregiver with the exception of the spouse. That's the only exception that exists. Now, in this particular case, we have a gentleman who is off work, and he's been caring for his wife who has stage 4 lung cancer. And so her time, is, I guess, short. She's, palliative. And in this case, besides all of the stress and everything that's involved in, dealing with that illness, and you can only imagine the stress that they're going under, in this case, when they looked to the paid family caregiving option, because they simply don't have the money hardly to survive. They're living off next to nothing. I don't know how they're doing it, quite frankly. They were told that as per the policy, anybody in the family could be the paid family caregiver with the exception of the spouse. And there's no provision within the policy under compassionate grounds, and there's no other possibility. So,
of course, the spouse is the very person in many, many cases, the only person who is there and I guess accountable for the well-being of their loved one.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way the policy, I guess, is applied, they're basically what they've said in the response, because we did write the minister and so on it, and basically they're saying is that inherently the spouse has that responsibility anyway, and they should be doing it for free. I guess that's the thought process there. And,
it's also the reality that if they can't work, if their attention is needed 24/7, then essentially both individuals are going down in one way or another.
Correct. And that, quite frankly, is the issue. So, after I got that response from the minister's office, I was in contact with his office beyond that, and I did suggest that, why can't the policy be amended? Because in speaking with the minister's office, it's while they were going to get back to me with complete confirmation, basically the understanding that they had there was that this was a policy as opposed to legislation. I mean, it's based on legislation, but this whole piece about the spouse not being able to be the caregiver is a policy, which means the minister's office, the department, could change the policy without having to go into the House of Assembly and actually changing the legislation. So, I mean, I think there should be an exception made, if not on compassionate grounds, and certainly, there's no reason why they couldn't put a clause in to say that under certain circumstances, i.e. one of the spouse is, in receipt of palliative care, then in that type of circumstance, the spouse could be the paid family caregiver. I mean, there really needs to be something done there, and currently, this family is really, really struggling, and it's such a sad story, and, I'm really disappointed that under the current circumstance, there's absolutely nothing that can be done to help them.
Yeah, it seems a little short-sighted. Of course, once you make exceptions, once you let people know that is possible, then of course you're going to be dealing with a lot of very tricky situations. It's never clear-cut then. There is an option, and people are going to try to fit into that option or make the case that their situation is at least equal to or similar enough to the one that's provided for, right?
Well, I do understand that, but by the same token, I have another, I have some constituents. I've dealt with a number of cases. I have one case that comes to mind in my district, and, it's a case of a mother and daughter. And, the mother she requires care. She's not palliative. And the daughter is the caregiver. And the two of them live together, and she is the caregiver, and so on. So, in terms of from a cost perspective and everything else, there's no difference. Whether it's a husband-wife, a mother-daughter, a father-son, a father-daughter, whatever the case might be, it would still be the same circumstance, the same cost. And as you said, I understand the precedent-setting piece, but if you had, if the policy said, for example, if the spouse was palliative, then I think that you would not be able to, if it was something specific to that, to that degree, well, then it wouldn't be a case of, having to look at every single circumstance. I mean, quite clearly, you wouldn't be able to fake somebody being palliative. It's quite easy to check that out with the healthcare to determine if that's the case.
Yeah.
So I have made that suggestion to the minister, in response. I did put it in writing to them, and, I'm not holding my breath, but I certainly put it out there, and I hope that they will at least consider that so that we can help this family and other families who find themselves in a similar circumstance.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be possible to help this particular family.
Yeah.
Because that's a bit fast, right? I mean, obviously, this is a big change that has to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you.
It's sad stuff. We were able to, and of course, the issue that he has now is that the gentleman was receiving EI in his particular case, which was about to run out, and then they would be down to next to nothing. Yeah. And we were able to check into that file, and we were able to get his EI extended for a couple of more weeks under existing policy. So, they're good for a couple more weeks, but that'll be running out very soon, and then he'll find himself into a situation where the only thing available is AES, and under that current circumstance, he's only entitled to something like less than $100 a week or something, which is nothing really.
Yeah, it's terrible when misfortune triggers further misfortune. That's just not the way it has to be. Sir, I appreciate this. Thanks very much.
Okay, Pete, all the very best, and look forward to speaking to you again sometime.
Take care.
Okay, bye.